Hey everyone, welcome to Upfront in the Prophetic. I want you to go ahead. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell for when we have other broadcasts coming your way, and share, share, share. Why? Well, you know how YouTube is. They're censoring everybody. But the more you share, the more it gets out there. Well, I'll tell you what, Al and I are fired up about today's broadcast. We have with us Jeff Pedersen with InTheMatrixxx. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Hi, guys. How are you today? I'm doing wonderful. I think, is this my second time on the show? Glad to be back.
Well,
Thank you.
actually, the first time you were on was on our prayer call, just to share with our prayer warriors what was going on out there and what to pray for. So yeah, this is our second time. But here we're going to go into great detail where you weren't able to do that before
Okay.
the prayer call. So yeah,
Well, I got
we're
to thank you all for the prayers. I could use them all. We all pray for each other every day. This is a spiritual battle, along with, on the physical realm here that we're living in today. But
yeah.
I really appreciate you, and that prayer call helps a lot. And, thank you for keeping me in your prayers. You're in mine every night as well.
Thank you so
Every
much.
day.
I appreciate that, Jeff. And I also want to make note that if you go below too on the ticker, you'll be able to head on over to get more information to help sponsor and support Jeff and Shady and InTheMatrixxx and what they're doing. Because, hey, Jeff, not too long ago, my gosh, what happened to YouTube, huh?
Yeah. What happened was there was a another show that's on 24/7, and they stand on a box, and a box of soap. And apparently one of the mods came over and fell for this. It was casting this spell upon us because of where we were speaking. And I'm not one to judge. And if somebody wants to hear my truth, I'm going to say my truth, and the truth, because the truth is sometimes very hard to take. And Q reminds us of where we go one, we go all. And, I know people that study the Bible that understand that, Jesus went and would speak to anybody. I'm not comparing myself to that. I'm not saying that, but, if I'm going to live like that, I'm going to talk to anybody. I got ambushed by many people saying, well, if you had the chance to talk to a white supremacist and sit down and have lunch with them, would you? I'm like, well, yeah, I kind of would. I would sit down and try to help change his mind and realize that he's part of the problem, and he's being led by the deep state for this division because they want us all divided. And if I could change his mind, I will. If I could give truth to one person, my day is good, right? I feel good. And, like many of you, I always felt that something wasn't right in the world. And, there was Q is here. So Q is becoming a little more mainstream now. And I'm going to stick true to Q. I'm a patriot. I support Donald Trump. I got people to vote for Donald Trump. The victory put the mainstream media, into a complete tailspin. And real quick, let me just, QAnon, and then I'll finish answering that question. But QAnon started 10 months after the president's inauguration. Someone named Q arrived on the scene, and the Q claimed to be an intelligence insider, perhaps maybe U.S. military intelligence, and was actively helping the president.
Yes.
You hear General Flynn say, we are digital soldiers, right? We are at war. The mainstream mainstream media has failed us. And the Q team selected an off the beaten path of communications channel and began dropping, crumbs for curious anons like myself to investigate. These crumbs would add up to be the greatest public intelligence drop in the history of the world. And the purpose is to support our president and expose the lies.
Yes.
Corruption, all the evil that plagues this world that we're in today, and that we pray to be gone every day, right? And Q's purpose was to wake up all of us worldwide to see through these lies and take back the power that rightfully belongs to us. Sheep no more.
Come on now, no more sheeples.
Right? Bah. Bah, sheep. You're not welcome here. So that's kind of where it is. And so I used a Q post, and I report on Q. I've got every Q post since February of 2018 on my Twitter. And I'm surprised I'm not taken down already, and I've been true to Q, been true to the Anons, true to myself, because first and foremost, if it's fact, it's fact. If it's a theory, there's a question mark, and it's a theory. You know, you've got people bringing up things that don't matter, right? And trying to make us look bad as the Q movement. So these people really didn't like our live show because we broadcast every day at 1300 hours Eastern, and that's kind of to mock the the powers that be, if you will. And they don't like us laughing at them. They don't like us. So we have a little bit of fun because we are dealing with dark stuff. But when I did this Q post, there was this anon that was on that 24/7 365 live stream show, and he decided to start attacking me. And he figured out that, hey, I'm going to do a copyright strike on the song that he covered for me, a Patriot Q song. They weaponized a Q post against me.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I can't go live until December 3rd. And we were down for 17 days. Believe it or not, 17 days.
Oh, come on,
you can't
17
make this
again.
stuff up. Oh yeah, so 17 is what is the 17th letter of the alphabet? I know you guys know this one, right? But for your audience, what is the 17th letter of the alphabet?
Yeah, Q.
Q. Right. So 17 pops up all the time, and it's no coincidence. So that's kind of what happened. But we still, we have like 34,000 subscribers on Twitter. If you type in InTheMatrixxx, youtube.com/C/InTheMatrixxx with 3 X's, you will get right to our YouTube channel. But if you type it into YouTube, you know how sometimes it'll say, like, you'll do, for example, an amazing patriot, like praying medical populate. If you do in the MAT, it never populates. You have to go all the way to XXX and hit enter.
Yeah, right.
It never populates.
Again, sensitizing, those that are out there, the patriots that are out there that are wanting to speak truth, but you can put any other name in there, Hillary Clinton, and boom, it just populates. It's those algorithms. And that's why it's so important for the Patriots Online to share what we put out there to get it to the masses.
Yeah. We need to be strong to get her. I mean, strong together. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And, we need to be united, not divided. So anybody that attacks anybody, and as we're all trying to get to that 777 consciousness. People are, attacking others, and that's not part of that consciousness. That's the 666 consciousness.
Yes,
do no harm to others is a very good rule to live by. But if they do harm to you, I mean, I think you have every right to retaliate. But I really think that we need to really check ourselves a little bit here too, as far as, judging other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Went and checked out your site again because we were avid followers. And my gosh, how many followers did you have before like 200,000? Am I correct in that, or more?
No, I've got 96.2 thousand followers right now.
Okay. Now, how come it's showing like only 34, 35?
You might be look at followers and not following.
Oh.
I try to follow back everybody. It's hard to keep up. I don't have any automated bots doing it for me.
Sure.
But I try to follow everybody as much as I can. So I've got 92.6 followers. But an example, there was a time when Q was kind of fighting with @Jack from Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And they were trying to detach the Krasenstein brothers, that every time you went to a president tweet at Real Donald Trump, you would see those Krasenstein brother guys before anybody else. And they were just obnoxious and so anti-Trump. So they were detaching that and putting Patriot comments at the top. And when that happened, I was getting 100 followers an hour for about a day and a half. And then it stopped again.
Wow.
So there is censorship going on right now.
Yeah.
And that's the next mission after this one, and I can show you what that means if
let's go into that because right now, well, what I want you to touch on first off is, because I found it really fascinating, was the NRO.
Yes.
Would you go into that?
Sure, absolutely. Do you want me to share my screen for you guys so you guys can see what I'm talking about? I have a little bit of interaction here with you. I'm really happy to be here again. I've got 3 threads that have really taken off. One is if you go to Google too, and if you want to see these threads, you can do @InTheMatrixx with 3 X's and hit PAYSEUR. That's the Payseurs, right? Then you could do the next awesome thread that has gotten a lot of traction is @InTheMatrixx with 3 X's, trust the plan. Okay. So the Payseur was confirmed by Q in Q post 1970. Hey, Q, does Q equal Payseur? And that's basically where our money came from. They bought, say, the Vatican in the 1870s for $400 million. They came over from Queen Marie Antoinette here to the United States. They bought up Daniel Payseur. Daniel Payseur had Louis Cass Payseur. They bought up all the railroads, and the Federal Reserve Bank, the system, the parent companies are Payseur railroad companies. And you don't know that because it's hidden from you.
No, exactly. You know,
Right.
what's so interesting is that I never even heard of the Pacers. You know, you hear about the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds and everything until you brought that up on In the Matrix.
Right. And I'm going to try to do this right here and just pull up the PA. So this is how I can get, PAYSEUR, right? This is my thread right here. And this is basically, if you guys want to, you can also go to InTheMatrixxx.com and look at the Payseur that has this graphic, and you can see the videos and everything else. But this is it. Save the best for last, P. And just, it just went to Louis Cass Payseur. So like Standard Oil, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, they're all agents for the trustees. They're trustees for the Payseur Trust. And the trust is called, first it was called the Virginia Company. Then they changed it to the United States of America and Body Politic Trust. And the way that we're going to get rid of these guys is antitrust, because if they own everything, that's antitrust, pure and simple.
Right.
And if everybody, I don't know if you've heard of the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve System also has dealings with the depository trust. Q says trust the plan all the time. So depository trust. He also says 5-5. 5-5 means all clear. That's clear, right? That's clear sound. It's radio talk. Like, hey, Alan, I hear you 5-5. That's what they would say, right?
Right.
And so that's kind of what the trust the plan is the Depository Trust Corporation. Oh, and Q also says watch the water a lot, right? So the Depository Trust Corporation is on 5555 Water Street.
Wow.
And in 2017, they cleared $1.61 quadrillion. Not billion, not trillion, quadrillion.
That's crazy.
Okay. So this, and I'll give you these links if you want to share with your audience. That would be great. This is the Trust the Plan thread. So this is Q's gavel that he used, and it said future comms, pre-stage elect, all these stringers right here. That gavel leads to a 2009 article. This is an actual picture of it, and Q had that on that. And I'm like, do you trust this? I don't trust any of this thing. So I Google antitrust. And this is what I got. I got that same gavel going back to an article on May 11, 2009. And guess what? It's called Restoring Trust in Antitrust Enforcement.
And that's something.
And guess what we need? We need a Supreme Court and a Senate.
Yeah, we sure do.
What do we got right now? We got a Supreme Court and a Senate. This is May 11, 2009, the first time this picture was ever used.
Wow.
So this is how we're going to get our country back, is with antitrust. So that's a brief history of where we're at today. So like General Electric is one of their main companies, right? GE, they do all the railroads too, right? Interesting, right? The GE bought all the railroads, and they're power companies. They do own all the power companies, and they've got different restrictions for railroads and power companies that only help them, right? They've got antitrust laws that only help them. So this is how we're going to do it. And how are they controlling us? How did they do this with the president? How did they get such control over us, right?
Yeah.
And this is my thread on how the DNI sits on top of the NRO, which is the National Reconnaissance Office, which is why Coates had to be removed before D class. Remember, C comes before D?
Yes.
So let's go. And here's the title. This is supra et ultra, above anything else, above everyone else, or above something like that. The one on the left is the National Reconnaissance Operations Center, which was conceived after 9/11, and that's a wizard. That's very important to remember. And then you see the symbolism. Q always says symbolism will be their downfall. And this says nos no una, nos obeo una. Q always says where we go one, we go all. Guess what this patch says? It says where we float one, we float all.
That's wizardry, right?
That's correct. So the director reports to the Secretary of Defense, and it's in concert with the DNI. They have ultimate management. It doesn't go to the president. They're appointed by the president and confirmed by the Senate, the NRO director, but they report to the DNI essentially. Okay. No presidential interaction with this group. There's a Q post out there that says, military intelligence has the same SAPs, which is a way of doing business, right? Yeah. What is it? Protocols, right? What is it? Standard access protocols?
Protocols.
SAPs. So like if I'm SpaceX, I can get money from the government to fund my thing that I'm doing for them, like sending a satellite up, right?
Sure.
NSA, CIA, etc. Designated post 9/11. Why is this relevant? Who can be held hostage and controlled? The CIA thinks its foreign offshore assets are strong enough to defend against the U.S. executive, not accounting for military use on domestic soil. Why does the Constitution explicitly grant this authority to the president, and what is it to prevent? Now, you notice these are all questions. Right. Okay, this is like the Socratic, Socratic method, asking questions, and then you got to go learn. You got to go dig. You got to go find the answers yourself, because the truth is learned. It's never told. Okay, never ever told. I can tell you all. I want you guys to, go look at this stuff for yourself and learn for yourself, and maybe you'll find something that will help this whole thing out. And let me know what you find. It's awesome. So they knew our agencies would grow in power so much that they could and can hold the executive hostage or engage with bad actors. Trump nominated someone new to every agency but one. He controls the top. Now, so they're using these agencies to hold our executive, our president, hostage.
My God.
That's Q Post 23. So the NRO organizational structure is basically this. You see Signet, you see COM, you see AS&T, OSL. You see all of the different people. That go. I don't see president anywhere, right?
Right.
Okay, and then again, we kind of touched on that one. That's just a recourse. And then remember this guy, Dan Coates, right? So Dan Coates, at the time of dig, or at the time of research, was the Director of National Intelligence. Okay, so it's interesting to say is like, hey, an anon said Dan Coates out, forced soon. Source equals Trump friend Chris Ruddy. And Q said, interesting, this leaked already. Q. And that's 2/18/19.
Wow.
So then, why did POTUS circumvent the DNI Coates normal protocol for D-class and give off authority directly to AG Barr? Q. This is 5/23/19. So why do you think POTUS circumvented DNI Coates? Well, maybe because he's guilty?
Yeah, exactly. Right? Exactly.
So the NRO, or the National Office, is in charge of designing, building, launching, and maintaining America's intelligence satellites. That's what they do, right? And I want to point out, too, that SAPs is how they do the business. They've got the least number of employees and the biggest budget.
That's crazy. This whole thing reminds me of, just this raid with Baghdadi and everything, and how Pelosi and Schumer and all them, how come we weren't notified? Well, because you leak everything.
Yeah.
And they would have messed up the whole operation. Yeah.
Do you know if we didn't have control of the NRO, that mission would not be successful?
Wow.
These are the satellites, guys. These are the intelligence satellites. The intelligence that Trump was talking about is provided by the National Reconnaissance Office, actually the National Reconnaissance Operations Center.
My gosh. Jeff, every single thing has been so tainted, infiltrated by the leftists.
And the rhinos.
Yeah, and the rhinos. Yeah, you got Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, and others.
We don't say his name.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
No, you didn't say John McCain.
Oh, yeah, no,
That-
okay, yeah, no name, right?
so we call him No Name because he's a traitor to our country. And look, I didn't think he was for a long time until I actually did some digging. I have an uncle that's on the Forrestal with him at the time that when he blew
Really?
up the Forrestal. Yeah, he didn't like him. So going on to the NROC stuff, the NRO stuff,
Yeah.
the traitor sold SAPs. So Q says, how do you break up something this big? What happens if low, mid, senior, non-corrupt patriots learn they were sold out? What happens? Who is waiting with open arms with a plan to reorg under a single entity with direct OS by trusted patriots? Listen to that. Single entity, guys. Oh, a plan to reorg under a single entity. Now, this is during my dig, and this hadn't happened yet. You're going to find out what happens, right? So who are the trusted patriots and who understand intel collection? Well, I know of one right here.
Come on, General Flynn.
I know another one right here too. Admiral Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My gosh.
These two gentlemen right here know a little something about intel collection, okay? Now, Q always says symbolism will be their downfall. Downfall of the NRO? Could that be what it is? Because they use symbolism, and it is the most occult, demonic symbolism I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, so I did a little bit of a dig on the patches, and Q also says wizards and warlocks. They call themselves the wizards,
Right.
and this is the National Reconnaissance Operations Center. And what is that right there? Shocking the world. Who is that? That's a wizard.
Yeah.
Q, please tell us who the wizards and warlocks are. Guardians of intelligence. Huh? The NRO does intelligence, don't they?
Yeah, that is something else, boy. I tell you.
Okay. So this patch made me know that we're on the right track.
Yeah, all-seeing eye. Come on.
And also, where we float one, we float all. Q and General Flynn also says, where we go one, we go all.
Right.
So this is obviously, yes, the all-seeing eye with the 4 stars. That could be base S4 over there by Area 51. We're not sure. But it could also be 4 entities like the Greenland 23 Space Command.
Right.
They track Santa.
Mm.
Okay, and other things. So
Yeah.
here's another patch that just has a B-2 stealth bomber, and it's an alien, and also the Trident. Obviously, that's very
Yes, very bad.
occultish, right?
Yep, sure. is.
Then he's eating that B-2 bomber that looks like it has a Q on it,
Right.
and it says tastes like chicken.
Mm.
Okay,
then
so what does that mean? Because there are a lot of new listeners on here. That's pretty demonic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at the one on the far right. So what they're saying is that they're better than the B-2 stealth bombers intelligence. The satellites can get better intelligence than the stealth bombers, but they, that's how I look at it. But this is, Q always says a stealth bomber, all that kind of stuff, but that means other things in my opinion. But just I'm looking at the symbolism to show, because Q says, look at this patch that they have. Is this patriotic?
No.
Let them hate as long as they fear.
My gosh. Wow.
In Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, what's on the dollar? It's Latin, right?
Novus Ordo Seclorum, which means our successful enterprise.
Right.
And Novus is new, Ordo is world, and Seclorum, put something in a secular order. Nuit Copieptus is our successful enterprise.
Wow, and look at this one right here.
Yeah.
Follow the owl and Y head around the world, Q says. So here's another one. That was just in, if you guys saw Godzilla, this was just depicted in Godzilla, the 3-headed dragon.
Wow,
3
no.
cobras around the earth.
That one yet, but no.
Draconian imagery, yeah.
So
that means never before, never again. So I found this Q post that I thought was interesting. Never in our history has a communications project such as this taken place. Return power back to the people. Truth, transparency, and equal justice under the law. So that kind of goes to speaking to this, which says never before, never again. Communications, satellites, never anything like this has ever happened. We got to return it back to the people. We got to return this back to the Patriots.
Right.
So that's how I kind of translated this. Now this is interesting. This is Latin. This is a very godly one, right? This is not demonic in any way, is it?
Yeah, right? No, not at all.
Right. And it says omnis yestri substructio service ad nobius, which means all your base are belong to us, or all your base are servant to us.
Right.
But this is a phrase also reminiscent in a geeky 2002 Sega Genesis game. And it says all your base are belong to us. So it's from a game, right?
Right.
So here's blind eyes in the sky. Coronas are also satellites by the NRO. Coronas. You see the Corona post up there. It says blind eyes in the sky, meaning they took the Coronas out. See, Corona 16 now offline. Blind. And shall we play a game? We thought it was hackers, but could it be this game? All your base are belong to us, leading us to this patch. All your base are belong to us.
Wow.
From a 2002 game. Okay.
Exactly.
So then let's look at all the Corona posts. This is Snow White 7 now offline, package complete. Have a nice day. Snow White, we thought was CIA run, but if you dig further, it's NRO. Deactivate Killbox 1AZ. These are kill satellite codes, in my opinion. So Corona satellite is now offline. So this deactivate Killbox 1AZB, that might be a command or something to communicate with these satellites so they can stop the satellites or make them go offline. These are all your Coronas.
So all the Coronas are basically the satellites that they have, of course, control of, but they, as of right now, they no longer have that control because Dan Coates is out of there now, correct?
Right. So the Corona was the nation's first photo reconnaissance satellite.
Huh. Wow.
And they say only up until 1972. I'm sure there's no weird Corona things going on up there right now, right? So this is actually, you can't get more clear than that. Corona, blind eyes in the sky. You can't get more clear than that.
Right, exactly.
And just to show you some more of their demonic or occult imagery.
My gosh.
Right? NROC is important. I'm going to show you why in a second. They said it was just palladium at night, but Pan, as we know who Pan is.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Here's another one. This one's interesting because it actually shows the missile trajectory going over the all-seeing eye. In my opinion, they need those satellites to empower those all-seeing eyes. If they don't have these satellites, that all-seeing eye is not going to be so all-seeing, is it?
Exactly. Oh my gosh. That's so true. The symbolism is their downfall. They are showing us what to come against, what to pray against. My goodness gracious, this is crazy.
Yeah. So it needs the Spice House to be even more all-seeing. So then you got, here's more symbolism, right? Here's some more. This is actually Greenland. Wow. 23rd Space Command. Remember when Trump dropped the Trump Hotel in Greenland? Yeah. Well, the 23rd Space Command is in Greenland. It's at the Thule Air Force Base, and I think you guys all know what Thule Society is all about.
I don't. What is that?
It's like a cult. Hitler liked it. Okay. I can go into it later, but it's also NORAD. That's where they track Santa. They have the like harp like antennas up there. It's Space Command.
Okay, gotcha.
And it's a creepy dude in a hood overlooking the Earth, but it looks like it's staring at the American continent pretty creepily. See that?
Yeah.
But if you look closely at the contour of the black face, you'll see another face with a nose and pointy nose and pointy ears looking left.
Yes.
It's kind of weird, right?
Yeah.
So this one is si ergo confirmum faciam, blah, 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 in Latin, which means if I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. It's very cliche, but considering these are people who actually created it, I don't think it's corny. They're probably dead serious with this.
They're definitely serious, yeah.
So this is NRO. This is a mission. That's not odd, is it? This is a mission patch, guys.
That is great.
We know 66 is the number of the fallen angels.
Yes. My goodness.
And that's not a demon looking dude, is it?
No, not at all. Not for Matt.
There it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Put this in mind.
Now, make sure you guys put your armor of God on when we talk about this stuff, because let me tell you, it can open up things, but it has no power over us, and we know that. We forgot our power, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I remember Mark Taylor before we even come online, and we'll just say it right now. And we just thank the Lord for his heavenly host to scramble the demonic frequencies of the second heaven in Jesus' name. But you are so right.
Amen. And I love Mark Taylor, by the way. I would love to have him on my show.
Awesome.
I'd love to have you guys on my show too. I mean, what do we do? We need to do that too.
Come on now.
All right.
And
So
there you have the now you have the
owls.
The owl. Yeah, very demonic. You look at Bohemian Grove, their symbolism being the owl.
Look at the one on the right with the owl holding the electrocute, the lightning bolt. But look at the way that it looks like there's a pyramid going, like it's a pyramid growing over the earth. Interesting. Like it's very interesting right there.
Yes,
like
indeed.
a pyramid almost. And then you got the owls, right? So owls. And Q says their need for symbolism will be their downfall. Follow the owl and Y head around the world. Around the world. Do satellites go around the world?
Yes, they do. Wow.
So we have an owl. What about a Y? There's the owl. Oh, look. Does that look like Y head?
Yes. Isn't that something?
Do you know what that is? That's a Chinese satellite company.
Isn't that something? Oh my gosh.
Follow the owl and Y head around the world. That's why they want you to look at Russia, not China. Joe Biden, China's very friendly. They're good people. We get along well with them.
Right? Divert everybody's attention one way, but what's really going on the other way. Isn't that something? Yeah, that's
they have outsourced they have outsourced their operations to China. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And Iran with the with the missile technology, and South Korea. Kim Jong-un was held hostage. He did not do what they say he did. Okay. He was controlled, and they moved their missile tech there. I showed you that. I'm going to show you that in a minute too.
Yes.
I forgot that we did that before the show. This is the Skywalker constellation. This is a commercial this is a Chinese company, guys.
My gosh.
48 satellites. Follow the owl and Y head around the world. That Y head, that logo looks like that Q post, right?
Yeah, go back to that.
Here we are. Wait, where am I at? Oh my gosh. Here we are. Sorry about that. So the Q post is right here, 184, Q 184. Their need for symbolism will be their downfall. Follow the owl and Y head around the world.
My gosh.
So you got the owls, and the Bohemian Grove features the owl in the front.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because they're wise and they can see in the dark, allegedly, right?
Exactly. That's connected to Moloch and the sacrificing of children.
Yep.
I mean, this is so deep, Jeff.
This is why this is probably the most censored thread I've ever had. Once this thread was out is when my YouTube channel was taken down, just so you know. So on 8/15, Trump names a new, excuse me, while I was doing this dig, this is a director of national intelligence. This is 8/15 or 8/8. Excuse me. When did he do the DNI? 8/8. Yeah, he said he was going to take office on 8/15. McGuire, the new acting DNI guy, and we've heard him a little bit in the news with these, BS impeachment things, right? As our president would say.
He's a good guy, though.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe we have control. Now, did you know that there was also a new NRO director on 8/5? During my dig, we got a new NRO director.
Great timing, Jeff. I'm telling you.
Christopher Scalise, and he is from NASA, right? We talked about NASA space dominance was, demeaned by Obama or Barack Hussein Obama in 2011. So he was the NRO director during all that, or excuse me, the NASA director during all that. Christopher Scholese, Scholese. He's the 19th director. Okay. Very interesting stuff. Then this is a D-class video. It's FOIA archives. This video was declassed in 95, but it goes, or 2009, excuse me. And it's talking about satellite reconnaissance, secret eyes in space. Okay. And it was funded by GE, which if you go back to that Paysur thread, we find that who really owns that, right?
Exactly.
So then, we go to Q posts. Like, come on, it can't be the satellites. Let's look at Big Bird 9 offline. Certainly the NRO can't have a Big Bird. Oh, oops. They have a Big Bird. Okay. What if NROC equals corn?
Oh, come on. Yeah, let's tap into that because, of course, we see a lot of the memes out there about corn harvesting. Tap into.
We had Grassley talk about the NRO yesterday.
Yes, he did.
NROC.
Yes.
So NROC equals corn, the National Reconnaissance Operations Center. That's the one with the wizard, right? Yes. Space is critical to our national security is part of a Q post. And the NRO has this commercialization of space is harvesting technologies that were formerly used by the government because now it's all SAPs. Here is our James Comey standing in a NROC field. Is NROC ripe for harvesting? It is now. And that looks like a satellite code that he used, right? Maybe partially blanked out, but that looks like a code to disassemble a satellite. And also, if you look at that one Q post where it says, this is your D-class guide, and it has the DNI and JC standing right next to each other. DNI and Jim Comey, but it could be Clapper too, but I almost think it's Comey.
Yeah.
Okay. And also Comey, he has a higher loyalty. Okay, that's his book. And his loyalty is to the family. And in Merovingian times, the Comeys were the warriors.
Oh, isn't that?
Of the Merovingians.
My gosh.
So this is the commercialization of space, is harvesting technologies. That was interesting, right? Harvest. And then you've got this, it's coming back in a big way. Our space is critical to our national security, was terminated for a very specific reason. Godspeed, Patriot. And this is an anon talking about being from Southern California, and everybody worked their butts off to win in space. And so many people have, their lives are just crumbled.
Look what's going on in California right now. I mean, we've got the fires that I believe that are definitely generated and just so much more. I mean,
remember the Q post? Let me just go to it right now because, this is awesome, right? This is like Q is like future proves past. I'm a pretty well-educated person. I've got a dual major in business marketing with a dual major in marketing, social science, language arts, psychology, and international business as minors. And I'm a pretty smart guy. Sold Cisco systems to really big banks and everything, and did all that and was very successful. But look at this.
Enemy fire.
We won't telegraph our moves to the enemy. We will, however, light a fire to flush them out. Q. So I am not saying this is what's happening yet because I cannot prove it.
Right.
Okay. I cannot prove anything. I do know that it's not normal. I do know that there could be the power company taking their electric grid down because they're trying to find the deep underground tunnels and their electricity will show, and they're taking them out that way. I'm not sure. But one thing I do know is we have it all.
We have it all. Well, I mean, even what Baghdadi and them confiscating some major information that I believe will soon come out.
Well, that's why Lindsey Graham is looking very worried.
Yes, he is, isn't he? He was with No Name, and yes, indeed. But I remember Q saying that not all.
No. Yeah. He did, and that's what I remember too. And Lindsey has been doing what he's supposed to be. And, he only came out after No Name died. And remember, Q predicted No Name would die 30 days, almost to the hour and minute that it was reported.
Right.
Exactly 30 days, No Name back in news. And No Name was dead.
Okay. How about Ruth Ginsburg? Is she out of here, you think?
Who's that?
Yeah,
Where
right.
is Ruth?
Right.
I know we haven't heard from her for.
Are you a Ruth seeker?
I don't know. I mean, just came to me, but I think
She's probably like in a bucket of ice and on life
Yeah,
support.
exactly.
You know, probably trying to consciousness transfer her into another Ruth. Who knows what they're doing?
Another
These
atmosphere.
demonic people.
Yeah, right. Okay, go
Anyway,
ahead. Go ahead.
He
So,
agrees with 12-year-olds, and so she's disgusting and she needs to go.
yeah, she is. Yeah. Okay,
So this is Devin Nunez.
Yeah, there we go.
Corn ready for to be cut.
Okay.
Everybody's
So
like,
what does
oh,
he
is that
mean by that? Yeah.
is that 42? Is he trying to go after 42? Or is it just a common spelling error?
Not-
Or is it a spelling error like this? All your base are belong to us. Corn ready for to be cut. All your bases are belong to us.
Oh, there you go.
New director of NRO. The game.
Yeah.
Is he talking about NROC equals corn? Corn backwards is NROC.
Isn't that something?
D. We had to get this before the D class.
My
New
God.
DNI and new DNI director of the NRO now. Think mirror, corn,
Mirror.
NROC. Boom. So
That's why they say that all the time. The mirror. Think
Yeah.
mirror. Q's always saying that.
you put corn in the mirror, it's NROC.
Yeah.
And what happened after 9/11? The NROC. Why is that significant? They're holding the executive hostage,
Yeah.
right? So interesting. So then you've got this. This was New Hampshire, I believe. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, I'm doing this dig, and I almost believe that they might be looking at my Twitter account. I've been queued 15 times. And
Well, you
honored.
must be doing something right then, Jeff.
Honored. I mean, humbled and honored.
Yeah, I know.
And Q did confirm my Paysur post by reposting, hey, Q, does P equal Paysur? Very honored. So in Q48, NROC and a Q proof, the shuttle program terminated by Hussein, U.S. loses space dominance, Iran nuke deal, NK nuke deal. Now, we didn't talk about Iran yet because I didn't really put it in here, but they have the same. We're going to talk about, I don't think we talked about NK yet. Anyways, we're going to get to that. NASA Tech 2 who? SAPS. Connected. Eye of Ra, left eye marker, symbolism. We've seen all this symbolism, haven't we? We've seen APs. We've seen that it's huge, that it's got huge pockets, it's got the largest budget. We've seen all this. Now, I don't know if this sound will come through. Let me know.
Yeah, you got to pipe it up all the way to the top.
Is that good?
No, higher, all the way. Will it go?
Right there?
Oh, no, it's not coming out too good. I'm seeing on your bar that it's not all the way up.
Okay.
On your voice, yep.
Do you hear it? If not, it's okay.
It's
But
low.
basically, I didn't have the option to share the sound, but that's okay. So this is the NROC. He basically goes through this whole thing. And what I found interesting is, I'm in the Matrix. You know that Matrix code that kind of follows? He was talking about like they have, it's like science fiction. Well, the Matrix is science fiction. And they have these rockets that come back down to the ground. And he's almost doing like a Matrix code. Here it is. He's almost giving me a 5-5, all clear. All right. Now, I don't know if that's true, but the part of this that is true is that it relates to all of this. And the Eye of Ra. What's the Eye of Ra? That's that one-eyed symbol, right?
Yeah.
That we've been looking at.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the dollar bill.
That's
Left
right.
eye marker, symbolism. And that Eye of Ra is always the left eye. Symbolism, evil, stupid, justice. So could the D class of the NRO be out of the black? Dark to light?
Yes.
Okay.
God, I hope so. Yeah.
All right. So then we keep going down. Q29. Look at this. This is actually North Korea. Look at those beautiful buildings. This is a city that was built in 1 year. Boy, where did our pallets of cash go?
Come on.
Does that logo look familiar? That's on the buildings?
Isn't that something?
Symbolism will be their downfall. They have to tell you what they're doing.
My God.
Whether by consent or implied consent. You voted for them. Like that's implied consent. We're going to be by Saturday to put your smart meter on your house. And if you don't say no, that's implied consent.
Right.
You're watching a television program. You're channeling, you're being programmed. It's not your vision, it's television. It's very interesting stuff. So this is symbolism. They have to tell you what they're doing. So some of the things must remain classified to the very end. North Korea is not being run by Kim. He is an actor in the play. Who is the director? Is that the DNI?
Yes.
The truth would sound so outrageous. Most Americans would riot, revolt, reject, etc. NRO, symbolism will be their downfall. Then I'm asking the question, NRO, this is a theory, guys, right? This is not fact, but this is what I'm getting from these Q posts.
Right.
Okay.
North Korea.
And the pedo networks are being dismantled. The child abductions for satanic rituals, i.e. Haiti and other third world countries, are paused, not terminated until players are in custody. We pray every single day for God's guidance and direction as we are truly up against pure evil.
Yes, we are. Mm.
All right. And they say this is an atom, but to me it looks like that.
Yeah,
It's
sure.
North Korea, guys. Is this how you picture North Korea?
No. I honestly, I always thought that.
This is North, and I'm going to just put this video up higher so you can see it. I'm going to let it roll while we talk. This is North Korea. Look at how beautiful.
I always thought it was a third world country, desolate, This is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. And this is where I'm sitting here watching this this program, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. It's North Korea. I'm like, oh, look at that symbol. Look at that. Can you see it? Oh,
Yeah.
I freaked out. And I didn't catch it at the time. And I wasn't on one of those TVs that can, rewind. So I had to go find the clip. It took forever to find this clip. But this is a gentleman going through. He's talking about the city. This is a city called the Mire. It's called Future Scientist Street, located in the center of Pyongyang, directly next to Pyongyang Station, adjacent to the Taedong River. So it was built in 1 year. Speed.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. I mean, my gosh.
Look at this place. It's gorgeous.
I mean, you're saying that this whole city right here
was built
just
in 1
those
year.
two buildings were
This whole city, this whole street with all these buildings.
My God.
Was built in a year. And also, there's history with speed in Pyongyang. North Korean workers produced miraculously fast construction speeds. They called it Pyongyang speed. And it was first used in 1958 to commemorate the speedy reconstruction of the capital. So Q says speed a lot.
Yes, he does.
Maybe this is what it is. Question. I don't know. Here's your NRO director,
Chris
Scalise being being sworn in. And that same day he was being sworn in, which he didn't have power yet. He's being sworn in, so he didn't have power. 8chan went down. That same day, a new director, White Hat, was being put into the NRO, and where Q posts got deleted, gone off the web.
Is 8chan coming back?
Yes, 8kun, 8kun. And that's it's going to be distributed. Remember how do you guys remember Napster?
Yes.
It's going to be like that. We'll have nodes on our computers, anons will.
Okay.
And like, let's say you want a file, it'll be distributed, so it won't be centralized, so it will not be able to be taken down like the last one was. Also, there's rumor that some of it could be on a satellite.
Yeah, now that they're not NRO
controlled.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Remember we were talking about the Space Command, right? POTUS is always talking about Space Command, and we're going to go to Mars, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that means something else. I'm trying to figure it out. MARS. I'm trying to figure it out, but maybe it is Mars too. I don't know. But has the president taken over the NRO? Space Command has been dismantled for 17 years. Here's Donald Trump, establishment of the U.S. Space Command. Okay. What's the 17th letter of the alphabet?
Q.
When was Space Command revived? How many years?
Yeah, 17.
Q years. We'll call that Q years. 17 years.
That's amazing.
Right?
So do you think, Jeff, that I know that the Muslim Brotherhood have, they've been planning things for, the 100-year plan. Do you believe that the military, has had this, the white hats, I should say, has had this in plan for years.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is a military coup against a coup.
Right.
Now, our president is surrounded by generals, and it's military on purpose.
Yeah.
So there was a general that came out and said that there is a Q team. He had acknowledged the existence of it, said it's 200 people because it's military, because the POTUS could not trust the NRO and the CIA, which are not military, they're gov.
Right.
So they have different protections, different orders. So the military is very important. So I think it's going to take time because it's going to take time, but it's the strings are cut. I think the NRO is no more, and I'm going to show you why. And this all happened during my dig. Does that patch look demonic to you?
No.
Dark to light. That's Space Command. Those are your new NROs. That's your new Space Command.
Okay. Yeah, the 4 stars. Okay, so another patch that was demonic had 4 stars on it. So I wonder.
Yep. I still think we control those 4 stars. And there's also a big illuminated star in there as well.
Right.
And I think I have an idea what that might be, and I'm going to kind of go to that in a minute.
Okay.
So, and that just happened yesterday, what I figured out. All right. So this is always a live dig. So this is their patches. They're talking about it, Commander. This is the first official directives. 2 subordinate commands that would jointly provide new support to the Unified Combatant Command. So what they're saying is Spacecom was they're going to do it's a joint task force for Space Command. Space is very critical to national security and national security spying on our president, right? So should conflict extend to space, the NRO will take directions from the commander of U.S. Space Command. Remember the Q post we read up there? It will be combined under another agency. The NRO will take directions from the U.S. Commander of Space Command and execute defensive space operations based on a jointly developed playbook and informed by a series of exercises and war games.
Okay, so the new commander. Okay, so who is the new commander?
DNI, the McGuire, DNI.
Okay.
And then Scalise for the NRO.
Okay, Chris, Dr. Scalise. Okay, Chris.
So this is good will always defeat evil. No rigging, blackmail this time. Wizards and warlocks. Q. This is 11/20/17, guys. So look, this is also a spelling error. Do you notice that?
Reconnaissance?
No, read that out loud. Read the headline.
United Space Command will combined the old U.S. Space Command and National Reconnaissance Office.
So there's a D in there that shouldn't be there, right? Let's go to my Twitter page because I don't have it connected to this thread, but it's we need to get to that right now.
Okay.
And I want to go down. It's going to be down here a little bit. Oh, this is about Hillary. Remember her talking about the video that could come out?
Yes.
Here it is. It's Frazzle Drip. Even Google talked about it on Capitol Hill. She's afraid.
Yeah,
guys.
she's afraid.
And here it is. Here's the Q post, crime against children, raw vid. There it is. We must work to get her.
I never noticed that.
Right. Let me just keep going down. Sorry about that. This is, we were talking about the missions. Right now we are on mission 8, whistleblower traps.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Yep.
Are we doing whistleblower traps? Do we have whistleblowers in the news today? Do we have jobs in the news in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Mission 9 is censorship. Also, I think jobs was James O'Brennan possibly, but I'm keeping an eye on that. But let me get to where I really wanted to go here.
So this is your Twitter account, right? In the Matrix,
Yes.
and that's with 3 X's for those that want to go ahead and look you up. And I know you wanted to get the 1 X, and then of course you ended
It
up.
just means lots of kisses.
Yes, that's what it is.
Now, remember, we forgot our power. I don't need to charge their negative charging of their sigils to me. I can make, you can make any symbol powerless and maybe powerful for you.
Right.
All right, now look, this is Chuck Grassley. How does a combine pick corn? Corn watch.
Oh boy.
So combined.
Yes. Yep.
And then he goes here and he talks about, it's an Instagram video, and he talks about how it, strips the corn from the cob and puts it in the harvester, and the corn in little pieces. Right? Remember the break up the intelligence agencies into 1,000 pieces?
Yes.
Something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
So again, here we go. Chuck, combined. It is combined. The NRO is now combined. We combine, the U.S. command will combine the old U.S. space fan under National Reconnaissance. So remember this. There it is.
Yeah.
How do you break up something this big? You put it underneath another agency. So also, let's get into this. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Dorian. If you take the letters Dorian, you can have NRO and DIA, right?
Right.
Those letters will spell Dorian. I don't think Dorian has anything to do with the NRO. Oh, it's Signals Intelligence Collection Mission. Okay. Here it is right here. It was going to be a manned orbiting thing. And also, by the way, if you go to @NRO, and this just happened too, and if you see who the NRO is following too, by the way, why didn't I get to the NRO? There it is. If you find this out, and they might have changed it, but they are not following our president of the United States of America. They're following, they're following some people like in the agencies and whatnot. But if you keep going down here, let's keep going down. Keep going down. They're following Adam Schiff. They're following Bo Derek. That's interesting.
What?
CNN. They're following Alyssa Farah, Pentagon Press. That's okay. I get that. Now I get all that. Deborah Lee James. Oh, she's Honorable Deborah James now. This tells a story of who probably is the intelligence collectors and Andre Carson, Indiana. Why do they follow him? Right? They don't follow POTUS or real Donald Trump. Bill Nelson?
Marco Rubio?
Tim Kaine? Marco Rubio? This tells a story, folks.
Wow.
I think we're on I bet these guys, Tim Kaine, dudes. I'm sorry, dudes. I got excited. Look at this. New Mexico? Well, we know Richardson went to Korea.
My gosh.
Look at Idaho. Susan Collins.
They are.
Rubio.
They follow.
Coates. Burr. Mark Warner. Look at this. Senator from Maryland, Barbara Mikuski. Look at this. Feinstein. She's in the kill box, by the way.
Yeah.
She has a Chinese spy driving around, and we've got the pictures of her and her driving around in China. Look at Sewell. Look at these people. I don't see anybody there. Look at here. Who's this guy?
Shifty. Oh my gosh.
Look at these people. Who are they? Illinois, California, Rooney, Tom Rooney.
Now, why are they following Devin Nunes?
That's new. After I exposed it, that's new.
Really?
Jeff Miller. Look at this. Guys, they are following the very people that are trying to impeach our president.
Right. Exactly.
DARPA is Facebook, guys, and Twitter. And
What?
Snowden wrote the algorithms. Yes.
Really?
Yeah. The same day DARPA
To me.
said goodbye is the same day Zuckerberg and his 3 friends smoking bongs in a college dorm room made Facebook.
Oh,
Same
wow.
day. Same exact day.
Wow.
So this is who I think might be the Q
Okay.
group, just by the way, NGA, the National Geointelligence, but I'm not going to dox Q. Okay, so that's Dorian,
Wow.
and they just released some Dorian stuff declassed on the NRO page. So just check out the NRO; it's very interesting. So Mole Manned Orbiting Laboratory, boom, interesting. So then we've got Dorian, and I'm sitting here in Florida, and it's going right to the Port St. Lucie power plant.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and that's where I live. Okay. I don't live in Port St. Lucie. I live in a red county right below it. But Dorian is a monster Cat 4 storm. Oh my God. New track targets Georgia and the Carolinas for potential direct hit. Look at the imagery there. Look at what she's wearing, this lady. Just interesting imagery. That is like too perfectly formed of a hurricane. I've been doing this for a long time, folks. I've been through many hurricanes. And I've never seen a Cat 5 just stop over China's largest port and just destroy it.
Right?
Taylor was talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. There's also allegedly a sub base there. So then we've got this. Why is POTUS referring to Alabama? Remember that?
Yes.
They were saying Alabama, but they gave so whenever the mainstream media freaks out on something, it's got to mean something. Okay. Do you know that there was a test happening? It's called the Shriver War Game, a secretive war game in Alabama. It is the first test of the new U.S. Space Command. Do you think we're onto something here, folks?
Oh my gosh.
What did they do? What was their test? What did they do? Well, boy, we should not nuke hurricanes. So when you put something in, you nuke it, what is that? Is that a microwave, right?
Yeah.
So what if they nuked Dorian to stall it? What if they used microwave to stall it? And here's evidence of that. I can just play the video, no sound. Let me just, here it is. So if you look base of Florida, there's Dorian, perfect eye. See this thing? Ooh, wait, go back a little bit. There, right there. See that? See that where it's like a microwave touching Dorian.
That's right.
Coming from maybe Alabama.
Yes.
Okay.
That's something.
Right. And China builds largest base in the Bahamas. You guys realize this?
Yeah. And that's where they had, I believe, their submarine base underwater there.
Yep. And I haven't been able to confirm that, but I have heard that. Yes. But even the trade, just even them having it's the world's largest port. China.
That's crazy.
Now I haven't confirmed the secret underwater base, but I have heard that theory. Again, I haven't been able to confirm it.
Right.
So there's bad people among Hurricane Dorian. And everybody's all worried about, we need to bring them here. Well, why would we bring terrorists into our organization?
Exactly.
Right. So that's kind of the stuff there that I've been digging on. Oh, also Chupacabra.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Nunes has said Chupacabra several times. And I bet you wouldn't believe that the NRO has to do with Chupacabra too.
Wow. But you're saying, though, that we have control over that. The white hats have control over.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty interesting how much, coincidence during how do you spell Chupacabra? Chupa. I can't spell it.
I can't either. It should pop up.
There it is. All right. Let me go over to this. Yeah. So, Devin Nunes twice has talked about Chupacabra.
Look at that.
And guess what?
Latin kitchen. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Fusion.
Mm-hmm.
Fusion? GPS?
Yeah.
Chupacabra, Latin kitchen. And then let's go over to Google again. Let me just see. Oh, this is remember Comey? Those are my 7-year-old godson Star Wars toys.
Mm-hmm.
We promised not to take them down.
Yeah, code.
And they're awesome. Anyways, look at people here. Look at Arc for Freedom talking about corn and rock. Trust the plan. See, this stuff spreads, guys. There he is.
Yeah, wasn't that something?
This is NRO related.
Mm.
He said, we promise not to take them down. He's talking about Star Wars. He's talking about the satellites, guys.
Right.
There he is.
Isn't that something? Gosh. That
And
guy's
oh, by the way, welcome to the dark side. We have cookies, NRO. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty small, but
yes.
I mean, everything relates to the NRO, guys. It's kind of freaky.
It is freaky.
Oh, look at this. Remember this. President Donald Trump, the United States of America, was not involved in the catastrophic accident during final launch preparations for the Sapphire SLV launch at Seminin Launch Site 1 in Iran. I wish Iran the best wishes and good luck in determining what happened to at Site 1. And if you look at this picture, oops, if you blow it up, it kind of looks like a Q. See the C on the upper right hand?
Yes.
If you
That's
just
black.
tilt that a little bit, it's a Q.
Right.
And let's remember that Iran is also funded by the deep state. This is their missile tech program. North Korea was their missile tech program. Iran, China.
China.
They've moved their operations, guys.
My gosh.
And then there was a story, look at it, talking about the patch,
Was that a Delta patch?
NRO.
Oh, okay.
But the NRO helps Delta.
Yeah, but wasn't the Delta force that went into?
Yes, but that has nothing. The NRO gave the Delta Force the intel so they could.
Okay.
Right? So this, though, let me just go back to this. This is a guy, and this is our president, and the NPR.org. If I tweet something, it's amazing that they kind of do counter narratives. It's kind of been amazing. This is a spy satellite known as USA 224 or NROL 49. Amateur identifies U.S. spy satellite behind President Trump's tweet. Look at this. And the here we can actually look at the picture now in real time. This is the picture. That's the big.
Oh, wow. Yeah, upper right. Yeah, you can tell that if you turn that around, it would be a
just
Q.
in what 30 degrees,
Right.
20 degrees. So I find that very interesting. Let me go to that article again. Here it is. Oh wait, darn it. You get so much stuff going on in here. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. Oops. There it is. Okay. So look at the patch. It says, better the devil you know in Latin.
My gosh. So demonic. I mean, their allegiance is Luciferian. It's to the devil.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's real. This spiritual battle is real.
It's spiritual. Yeah, it's warfare. We're in a war.
We are.
But we are victorious in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I mean, you look at everything that's come to pass already, and I mean, thank God for you guys that are out there decoding and digging up, the information that we need to see and learn. And I love, in Proverbs 25, it says, it's the glory of God to conceal a matter, to search out a matter is the glory of kings. So you are searching out the matter and bringing it forth.
Thank you.
Powerful. Yeah, powerful stuff. Hey, another cool thing. Just recently, you were able to go to the AMPFest. Tell us about that. Pretty exciting, huh?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. This is, so AMPFest was amazing. I don't have the pictures handy, but I am one of the larger Q accounts, right? I'm in the Matrix with 3 X's there. I've got 96.2 thousand followers. And, I was able to go to real, Don Jr.'s event. I was actually invited by Justin Form Talk Craig, if you guys know him.
Yeah, we know. Uh-huh.
He got me like a general admission, like a regular admission, but I was given VIP. It's a $2,500 upgrade. And they gave me VIP. And I actually stayed, if you know Doral, we actually stayed in most people stayed at like these 2 or 3 different hotels, right? I stayed in the Arnold Palmer where the presidential suite is, and that's where Junior and Kimberly Guilfoyle were staying. So I ran into them in the lobby several times. I was able to meet Corey Lewandowski. I was able to meet Tom Fitton. I was able to meet the great O'Keefe, right? I was able to meet Dinesh D'Souza. I was able to meet Blake, the brick wall jacket wearing guy, right? And it was amazing too, because Donald Jr. did a speech, and he kind of went off script, and he went over to Blake and he says, "Hey, you were at the Orlando rally, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Wow, they were kind of making fun of us a little bit, weren't they? They were making fun of our designer flip-flops and cargo pants." So most everybody heard that. So I went to the Orlando rally as well. And I marched through the whole entire line saying, "Do you know Q? Who knows Q? Q, where we go one, people would chant back, we go all." A third of the people, I would say, knew who Q was, and about a third of those people knew who I was, actually. So I was like, very honored and humbled. And that night, and when I got back the next day, I saw this talking head on NBC saying, "There is a smattering of QAnon there, and they're wearing their fancy flip-flops or designer flip-flops and cargo shorts." I put that in my video. So was that a slight hat tip from Don Jr. to me, but by not actually saying, "Hey, in the Matrix Q account"? I don't know. I mean, it sure is an interesting coincidence, especially, we use the Punisher skull a lot in the Q community, and because we want punishment. We want equal justice under the law. We want people that commit crimes to be, what do you call it? Commit crimes to be punished, right? Punisher.
Yeah.
So Kimberly Guilfoyle was up there with Donald Trump. I'm like, "Is that a skull on the back of her jacket? Are you kidding me?" So I said, "Hey, Kimberly, turn around." She turns around, and I tried to get a shot, but I didn't really get a good shot of it. But she was wearing a skull on the back of her jacket. 5'5".
Awesome.
We know what 5'5" means, right? 5 by 5. What does that mean?
Yeah,
Clear?
not clear. Yeah.
Comms understood. 5'5".
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
It was amazing. Let me just see. And George Papadopoulos, he actually follows me on Twitter, and he knew exactly who I was. I was very honored to hang out with Papa D a little bit. Hopefully he'll come on the show. I did have Jason Fick, FYK, and he's got the only suit against Facebook right now. I did a great interview with him, and I call it #Fick Facebook.
Yeah, because what's going on with Facebook? I mean,
they changed the rules, so you can't sue him like Mr. Fick is now. They basically said if you have groups, like let's say you belong to a CAG group, a MAGA group, and another MAGA group, and you are sharing amongst groups, that will be stopped, and they can deem you bad and just take you down. They've changed all the rules. So I had him recently last Sunday on. I also had Jason Voorhees, or excuse me, I always call him Jason Voorhees. Remember that movie? I think that was Jason Voorhees, but his name is Zach Voorhees. My apologies, Zach. He's the Google whistleblower, and I think we had the best interview with him because I was able to show him getting arrested outside of his thing for whistleblowing on Google. And he talked about Google had a conference and he was at, and they said this. I was actually to show what he did. So it was actually very well done, live produced in real time. Zach Voorhees, whistleblower. So we're actually busting out of the narrative. I mean, I met everybody. I even went up to Cernovich and said, "Why is Alex Jones attacking Q people?" He's like, "Oh, I don't get involved in that stuff," But it was interesting because once people figured out who I was, for example, there was a big Trump group, Latinas for Trump, and she's like, "So I want to call my girlfriend with you right now. We're going to FaceTime her." I'm like, "Oh, okay, this is kind of odd." And she's like, "Look, I got In the Matrix." She's like, "Shut up. That's not In the Matrix." I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." And I showed her my phone because I've got In the Matrix graphics. And I showed her my Twitter account, and she started crying. I'm so honored and humbled to be in this position of actually having people listen to us now. I used to be called a conspiracy theory. My mom says, "Jeffy," she calls me Jeffy. "Jeffy, how do you know all this? Who are you?"
Who is my son?
And I don't know. I'm just, you know, the truth is learned. It's never told. I've always been a why kid. That's just me. I'm also on the Mighty 200. Did you guys want to, in fact, one more thing. Let me grab my Q post for you
Yeah.
and just show you what Q post I was in. Let me grab the screen here. I'm going to share one more time. Okay.
Yep, go for it.
Here we go.
Cover the Arnold now, too.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So I was anonymous as I was the Matrix, and this is 2/12/18. My birthday is on February 12th, but my birthday on my uh, 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 profile at the time said that it was Neo's birthday, right? Sometime in September. So this is 2/12/2018. I don't really consider this a direct post to me, but is it coincidence? The Matrix movie grew people as a crop, used for energy, and controlled their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Wonder where they drive that idea from. Now comes the conspiracy label. The deeper we go, the more unrealistic it all becomes. The end won't be for everyone, but that choice to know will be yours. This is another Q post. This is, do you believe in coincidences? Think of context. Nothing to see here. And if you go to this Twitter account, oh, wow, that's me. And it's about the Democrat playbook.
Wow.
A new playbook needed. Now, I've been attacked. My family has been released to the public. My girlfriend's identity was released to the her kids too. I no longer have that girlfriend because she's afraid.
Sure.
This is if people are attacking people, they don't realize the consequences that are actually happening to the person. Exactly. There's nothing on my record. I don't have a police record. I don't have anything. There's nothing to see here. So if you think of the coincidence about the new Democrat playbook attacking InTheMatrixxx, think of that context. Nothing to see here. Also, this is Stacey Dash. This is a beautiful Q in the sky picture. And this goes to Stacey Dash. And she retweeted my friend's Q baby.
Oh, okay. Was that your friends?
Yes. And this is what we fight for, the future of our children, grandchildren. We stand at the precipice. Do not fail. Do not falter.
Wow.
Q gave me a future. Okay. So Stacey Dash retweeted that. So I consider that kind of a, one. This is wow, enjoy the show. And talks about Pelosi and this meme right here. You'll see who did that in a second. But it says, you will not win, Pelosi. You did not think the largest military spending bill in history, FY 2019, wasn't going to indirectly include funding for the wall, did you? Learn the Constitution regarding vested powers of POTUS regarding matters of national security. This was planned and forecasted as border funding solution from the beginning. Anons had the proof long ago, but shining a light back then would have defeated the primary purpose of showing the public the real objective of the D's party of open borders, elimination of ICE, elimination of security, defend illegals over Americans, midterm election, etc. These people are stupid, Q. And who does this go to? Oh, wow. That's me. March 24th, 2018. I could have told you that Red Castle, Green Castle, the Army Corps of Engineer, they were going to build the wall. Clock activated, Red Castle, Green Castle, stage 5x5. Also, look at this, 5.5 trillion, the American model economy, 5.5. So these are my Q posts. This is what I do. And Q, cues me every now and again. Right? It's amazing. All right. So remember this, right? Remember what that looked like. That was my meme. This is me again. Here's the word in the matrix. That's me being cued again.
That's awesome. Well, it just means that you're right on target. Here's
me being cued again. Stage set. Here's me being cued again with that meme. Anon's new last March. Do you believe in coincidences? Q. Credit to the Anons who deciphered the red-green castle. Why must we communicate this way? Think national security laws.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Oh my gosh. Hey, you wanted to mention too about the
this is real quick. Let me show you this. I'm sorry to interrupt. This is very important. This is what we call a zero delta. So the same time our real Donald Trump is tweeting is the same time Q posts. So February 10th, 2 days before my birthday, at 5:04 p.m., both Q and POTUS drops on the 8chan, and POTUS tweets. And he says, well, it happened again. Amy Klobuchar announced that she's running for president, taking proudly fight of global warming while standing on a virtual blizzard of snow, ice, and freezing temperatures. Bad timing. By the end of her speech, she looked like a snowman woman. Now, how many times has Amy Klobuchar done that? It happened again, apparently.
Yeah, none, right?
But then that meme that you keep seeing here was posted again. So that's a 0 delta. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me just, I don't know if you can hear that, but I can. So this is it. These are my Q posts. Here's the memes again. This is on NCIS right here. They're talking about.
I remember that. Yeah.
That Shady Groove and InTheMatrixxx. See that right there?
Oh, they're talking about Q again.
Yeah. And then this is funny because this lady, an amazing lady, her name is called Sold Out Anon. So all these trolls are saying, look, Q's saying that that Matrix Shady sold out. I'm like, what? This lady sold out to Jesus. She's about 70 years old. She's an amazing soul. And these people, she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm going to change my name. I'm like, no, leave it. Because they can't hurt me. Because people attack me is because they can't attack the information.
Right, exactly.
Here's more memes. Okay, so this is the big one that I want to show you guys. Okay, this is 200 Twitter accounts. You see them all?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of scrolling fast, but it says this. It says, Patriots, you have been selected as threats and falsely labeled as foreign disinfo agents. Though they attempt to disguise at the bottom is not all. This is an attempt to target and remove by false pretenses all threatening voices. Elimination of free speech to prevent loss of control. These actions are now being monitored, and we would strongly encourage forwarding this information to the appropriate members of Congress, Senate, and the media. We believe that this is a test run to effectively silence the opposition while testing the potential media backlash, which there was no backlash at all, and or official response. This attempt to remove/silence fascism to those who oppose their view narrative should further demonstrate their resolve to control the message narrative, win at any cost. Q. And you see all these people, and I want to show you what this means. This is a targeted purge of Twitter accounts, okay?
Yes.
And I'm just going to go back up here because here's another one. So this is HillaryClinton.com. But before I go here, I want to show you this. I want to read this to you because it's important. I mean, this is very important, this one. For those who think this war is fake or we are not considered a major threat, this is a direct attack by Hillary Clinton on Q and pro-POTUS patriots. The article referenced has an embedded link that literally targets pro-POTUS Q Twitter accounts that have been identified by the Clinton deep state as serious threats. Ability to shift the narrative. Twitter has already begun to remove and target account stages under false pretenses. The war is real. The threat is real. Clinton panic. Clinton fear. Judgment Day coming. Q. And there's a link in the article, Crooked Hillary. Let's go to Hillary and I'll walk you through it. I'm sorry to show you this face, everybody. I'm really sorry. Please put on the armor of God right now.
For those faces.
Because we're staring directly at Satan.
All right,
God.
exactly.
So this is a Twitter, February 20th, 2019, Politico reports today. Hillary Clinton tweets this out. A wide-ranging disinfo campaign aimed at Democratic. Now, guys, they're called Democrats. They're not called Democratic. Everything has been scrubbed and changed in the databases. They're trying to act like a process, not a party. They are not democratic at all. In fact, we're supposed to be a republic, and they're supposed to be called Democrats.
Yes.
You're a Democrat. That's how I grew up remembering it. Now it's all democratic because they're trying to identify that it's the process. They're the almighty process. They're democratic, not the Republicans, right? Anyways, candidates is already underway on social media with signs that foreign state actors, I did not tell you I was Russian, did I? Are driving at least some of the activity. Now it's funny. So Hillary Clinton says WikiLeaks is Russian, Donald Trump is Russian, Tulsi Gabbard is Russian, Jill Stein is Russian. Everybody's Russian. Russia. This lady's crazy, guys. as we know. I'm preaching to the choir here. So this is the article that Politico, wrote, right? That Hillary Clinton actually retweeted. And this is the same core group of accounts.
Mm.
Here they are. It's an active. They X out as they go.
Wow.
Okay.
Isn't that something? I know a lot of those.
and I want to point out that this InfoWars is not InfoWars. It's the Moral Report. Alex Jones is not on this list.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I just want to make sure that's clear. I don't know anybody that's a Q person on this list.
Wow.
Except Run the Race, but she's gone. She's got another account. Run the Race is one that was on here. But I don't know any other Q accounts that are on here, guys.
Wow.
Okay. Who are they? So this is it. So this guy right here, let's just click on this green guy right here. And I am speaking to you right now. I am on Hillary's top 200 list.
Crazy.
Talking to you live.
Talking to you live.
And I am Jeffrey Pedersen. I am a proud father. I am a patriot, and I care about this country. And I think when they doxed my family, it's probably to protect me.
Yeah, it could be a good thing. Definitely.
Anything happens to me, I'm on Hillary's list, and that's the first place I would check, guys.
Yeah, right.
I'm not suicidal. I'm not crazy. I am a good man. I'm a good person, just like every one of you listening to out there. We're just proud patriots and proud to have this option. And this is the first time that I'm proud of my president.
Amen. Come on now. Oh, Lord. I feel so duped because I was so for President Bush, years ago, and then finally realizing who he really is and his entire family.
He's a payseur.
Definitely.
We know he is. I mean, he was on that 414155 train engine. He even stopped in Springs, Texas. So Spring is the Rothschild agent that helped the payseurs here. In fact, Spring took all of the railroads, all the deeds, everything, and took them from payseur. Even Richard Nixon took payseur out of congressional records. But we have it all, guys, the internet. And what's interesting is that there's this one girl, she was fifth grade, and she did a genealogy project. And she noticed that every president, except for two, were all bloodline related. And we know that the President Bush is related to the Queen. Queen 1 was not a payseur. Queen 2 is in the bloodline. And that's Queen Marie Antoinette. And Bayshore payseur is the same, like Bayshore Asset Management, Bayshore Bank. The Dutch Queen also. They've got different names. And Springs is the father of Abraham Lincoln. So he's essentially a Rothschild. And Springfield, Illinois?
Yes, that's right. Okay, so who are the two? Of course, our beloved President Trump is not within the bloodline. And who's the...
I don't know who the two are, but I do know that we did do a research on President Trump. But we also have to remember John F. Kennedy. Kennedy is a bloodline.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but see, the thing with John F. Kennedy is that the reason why he was murdered was because he was, from my understanding and research, he was stepping outside of what he was raised in and basically exposing them.
Yeah, he didn't like the secret societies anymore. He didn't want to do operation. He didn't want to fly a plane over Cuba and said Russia did it after he just shot him down.
Right.
He had a moral compass. Even though there's something like he wasn't very popular at first. He was a Democrat president, right? He did do some things, but then he wanted to reinstate the gold standard. So anybody that messed with the financial system got shot. Lincoln wanted the greenbacks.
Right.
Shot.
Exactly.
Ronald Reagan, well, let's audit Fort Knox. Shot.
Right.
Okay, now we've got this president because we are in my opinion, going to go back to the gold standard. And Executive Order 12/21/17 says any crime against humanity or corruption, that money seized goes into the treasury. That's your bank. It's my bank.
Come on. That's why it's
Okay.
so critical that we continue to pray for President Trump and his family. Absolutely.
Every day.
Yeah, every day.
And that's why he doesn't drink, because he's got to keep his bloodline pure. When you're fighting this evil, you're drinking spirits. Do you realize that?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talk.
Like when you drink alcohol, it's spirits. Now, I mean, I'm not saying don't have a nice little glass of scotch to unwind, but just realize that abuse of that will hurt the family. I mean, we see what alcoholism does to families, but everything in moderation, I always say. But the
That's
president does not drink at all.
Alcohol.
He is fighting such evil. He's also part of the Tesla bloodline, from what we could tell.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I remember.
Now, you remember what happened to Tesla? You know, Edison beat him out for the bulb, you know.
Right.
Then they just kind of had him, like, you know, on a chain, if you will. But his uncle actually worked with Tesla. And I'm wondering if he has some of that technologies with the free energy and everything. So stay tuned, guys. But we can't have free energy until we're ultimately free.
Yes.
I do believe that we are going to go into like a natural law society. And I do believe that we are the keystone. You, me, we the people.
Yes.
Because we forgot our power. We don't realize that we can go to the Supreme Court and say, you know what? We the people said that law is garbage. Throw it out.
We the people.
We don't realize that. And the government is only supposed to do international trade, intercontinental trade if there's issues, and to protect our borders. They're not supposed to be in my bedroom. They're not supposed to be in my healthcare. They're not supposed to be in my car. They're not supposed to be anywhere.
Come on, preach it. Come on now.
Right? And also, if you really understand natural law, it's do no harm to others. And a lot of people don't understand what the word violence means, right? You think boxing is violent? Just a question. It's not violent because it's a use of force between two willing individuals.
Right, right.
Taxes are violent because they are taking part of me and my fruits of my labor. That's actual violence. That's what violence is.
Right.
You know, and people need to start understanding what these words mean because they use them all the time. I don't know if, you know, like, for example, I love this one, government. What does that mean?
When you govern, when you take control.
Gubernare, right? To govern and control. You're absolutely right. Perfect. And mente. What is mente? Alan, what do you think mente is? Mente.
Mentoring? I don't know.
Mind.
Oh, just like media. Oh, come on now, Jeff.
Mente is the mind. So government is mind control. So you want media. All right. So this is interesting. So I was a why kid. I got beat up with the wooden spoon for asking why too many times. And my mom always says, because I said so. And I don't blame her. I drove her nuts. Why, Mom? Why? I just loved words. Okay. I loved how words worked. I was interested in them. They meant something, right? So media is Babylonian times. If you Google, CIA says Saddam Hussein thought he was Nebuchadnezzar. Okay. So he thought he was Nebuchadnezzar. Babylon. It's all Babylonian times. You know, remember when we went to war the first time? What we're witnessing here is, do you remember the term? Shock.
No.
Oh, and we use the mother of all bombs, right?
Right. MOAB. Mm-hmm.
So the Shekinahs and the Moabites defeated Nebuchadnezzar.
Wow.
Okay. They have to tell you what they're doing. Remember we told that earlier, by consent or implied consent?
That's
So
right.
then we've got the media. So when the ruling, you know, people at that time couldn't get what they wanted done through the blood and the war, they would turn to the Magi tribe in the city of Medes. That's where the word magic comes from, with a K and a C. It's where the evil magic and the good magic comes from.
There you have the warlocks, the witches again.
That's right. And they would turn to the wizards of Medes to cast a spell on the population.
Yeah, MK Ultra.
That's where media comes from, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So the Hollywood is revered in pagan witches. That's the magic wand.
Right.
The Hollywood. Let's see, you kind of went into another thing there
I
too,
know.
like,
I know.
yeah, no, I mean, that's good. I mean, and I want to tell you this, and I want you to understand that this is not, we are under control over everything. And this is a very hard one to explain to people.
Yeah.
Do you know what the word, and don't think about what the word means to us today, but where the word origin from the word religion comes from?
Mm.
Relegare. It is Latin, and it means to bind and stop forward progress.
Wow.
Wow, that is so amazing because so many people put Jesus in this, as a form of saying,
Well,
oh,
religion
what
can be
religion,
money, religion of money, religion could be
right?
religion of government. People are,
Right.
they were just trying
Instead
3
of
weeks ago to make
relationship.
climate change a religion, remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and we have bad actors in religion,
Yes, we do.
okay?
Yeah.
And that's why, I believe that we're a congregation and that the
Well,
temple is.
look what's happening. Look what's happening with, where we go one, we go all, the Patriots coming together in
Yeah,
unity. I mean, there you
it's
have,
true. But do you realize that
it's all what?
everybody's coming?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not just the Christians,
Right.
okay?
Right.
Everybody's coming.
Yes.
We're all going together.
Yes.
And we have to realize that because it's going to be, the people that we don't like might get a little louder.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We might be, much of a group to be even louder than them, but true freedom is really going to be hard for people to accept, in my opinion.
Mm, right.
Mm.
I was on
Different opinion.
a show and they're saying, so, it's only like they have white squall. He's saying white squall, and that's the people on the boat, and it's only the people on the boat that go. Like, well, what? Where we go one, we go all. It's very like straightforward. And then Q plus, which we think is Donald Trump or Scavino for Donald Trump,
Mm-hmm.
said, for God and humanity, where we go one, we go all. It's
Right.
all of us. Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of us. So that's what I think people need to
Who did
realize.
Jesus die for?
Right. Humanity.
Humanity.
Right. And now we've all got different life experiences. We've all got different education, and your decision making process is based on both of those things.
Right.
So it doesn't mean that people can't. There's nothing new under the sun. You've heard that saying. So the truth has always been there. We've just got to align our consciousnesses to it.
Yeah. Our mindset.
They've got us all messed up like, oh, Alan, that's your truth. That's not my truth. No, the truth is truth, and it's always been the truth, and it will never change.
That's
It's
right.
not your truth, my truth. You see how they twist our society?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's amazing. And then you were talking about, the symbols, and we were talking about Hollywood and the spell, the television. If I'm reading your mind, what am I doing? I'm telepathic. It's telepathic, right?
Right.
I'm reading. What if I had television?
Mm-hmm.
What if you tuned into a channel? You're channeling, guys,
Right.
and you watch a 30-minute, what do they call it? A program.
Right. So they're programming you. Right.
Yeah. So television literally is not your vision.
Right. Right. There, the word, it's symbolism. The word, if you look into Hebrew, the Hebrew
Powerful.
context of even, the word of God, it shows symbolism. He is the living water. Well, what do they depict that to the water, to the flowing water? So and
Yeah.
that's why when you bring the Hebrew context into the biblical realm, you see the true meaning, the in-depth meaning of what God was truly saying. Well, that goes, if you mirror that, okay, to the demonic side too.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's why they poison our water, because that's how their demonic entities have to
right.
live.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I know Jeff was going to talk about the armor of God. You mentioned that.
Yes. Yes. That was so
show.
powerful.
Okay.
When you shared that with us a while ago, and what had happened. And actually, I believe that
Well,
Q basically, tagged you on that, did he?
well, Kind of. I'm sure it's a coincidence. Let me go ahead and I'll share my screen. Yeah, it's, all these mathematically impossible coincidences. It's a coincidence. It's a, a lot of people may not understand this kind of stuff, but we're sitting here. Do you remember that Sunday when Q dropped Kibby, or the POTUS about Kibby, and she was the lady from Hawaii, when Trump went over to get the birth certificate? So she confirmed the birth certificate, and the president said, "Hey, I'm sorry for the plane crash, but wow, I'm surprised only one person died." And we did that dig, and we saw a frogman come up and grab her. She was alive when the plane went down. It went down very easy, and we saw a frogman. Okay, and we're all like going, "Oh my gosh,
right?
What did we just see a murder?" And we're all kind of sad, man.
Right.
Doing this dig, and I said to everybody, I go, "Why don't we need to put on the armor of God?" And literally minutes later, Q posted the armor of God, full text. "Finally, be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Therefore, put on the full armor of God so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground. And after you have done everything to stand firm, then with the belt of truth buckled around your waist, with the breastplate of righteousness in place, and with your feet fitted with the readiness that comes with the gospel of peace. In addition to all this, take up the shield of faith, with which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of spirit, which is the word of God, and pray in the spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the saints." Ephesians 6:10-18. And then, love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast. It is not proud, it is not rude. It is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And how are they controlling us today? There's two ways to control people:
fear
and love. I choose the latter. And so with that was Sunday. So Monday, if you see this graphic here in the upper left, Trump got a helmet from the NASCAR driver. The very next day. On Wednesday, 2 down on the left, Trump got the belt. Okay. Up above that, he got the breastplate from the Army Knights. Could that jersey represent the breastplate of righteousness? Down below, all the way to the bottom, you've got the feet. So you got the shoes from New Balance. Then up here with the swords up there, he got the swords from Saudi Arabia. And you are the shield. POTUSShield.org is the prayer group.
Yes.
We are the shield. You and me are the shield. And, with that Q post and the helmet the next day and the belt thereafter, the swords, I mean, it's just absolutely mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's coincidence.
Not.
Now, this has been posted 5 times now, this armor of God. So it's very important to the Q team.
Sure is.
And, we need to make sure we protect ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we are in war. And yet we are victorious because God knows the end from the beginning. He knew that we would be right where we are right now.
Absolutely. And this is a great awakening. And I encourage everybody to, check out my information, research it yourself, look at it, because it's very interesting either way. Whether you believe in Q or you don't believe in Q, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
because we are Q. We are exposing the truth. The memes that you guys are sharing on Facebook, the memes that you guys might be sharing on Twitter, and you don't know Q, they probably came from us, the Anons, the digital soldiers.
Right. Right.
We, I do have a relationship with Joe Flynn. He's an amazing guy. I have a relationship with the general. He follows me both on Facebook recently and on Twitter. There's been so many things in this journey that have made me be, and I'm a pretty smart guy. There's a lot of things in this journey that have really can't be coincidence anymore.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm just so proud, humbled, and honored to be speaking with you guys today. And I almost died in 2017, and it's kind of freaky to me. It was February. I thought I had I have food poisoning. I just felt like my stomach was upset and it felt like, ugh, Then I started, throwing up, and eventually that was like Saturday morning at 1 a.m. And then by Monday, I couldn't drink, eat 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do anything. And I was darn near just sleeping. And my girlfriend at the time says, "Hey, we need to get you to the hospital." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." So we get to the hospital. I get a room. They put that tube down your nose and everything. And they did all these tests. They made me drink stuff to see if see if anything was going on down there. They did ultrasounds. They did CAT scan. They did x-rays. They poked and prodded. They couldn't find it. They couldn't find anything that was wrong, but I had a small bowel obstruction. Come to find out, I was underdiagnosed with my gallbladder in my 30s. And I was 49 years old at this time. And the condition is called gallstone ileus. It only happens to 3 to 4% of the population.
Wow.
And it's very rare. My doctor said, I've only seen it in the books. So they basically, I got, 34 stitches. They opened me up. Basically, I said to my doctor, so I was disemboweled and reemboweled? He goes, yeah, pretty much. So the gallbladder fused to the duodenum, which is the entry into the lower intestine, created a fistula, which is a hole through the gallbladder and into another hole into the the duodenum, dropped a gallstone the size of a Titleist, and apparently it was the largest ever measured. And it went down as far as it could go. So they had to get the dead gallbladder out, the dead tissue around the duodenum. They had to go find in my intestine that golf ball and get that out. And they said it was probably one of the most dangerous surgeries you could ever have. And I didn't understand any of that. I was all like looped up and like, what are you talking about? I don't need to do this today, do I? And like, yeah, you need to do this now. So I just Easter, I was just kind of, what is it? I noticed that the mortality rate was 98.4% for men under 50.
Wow. It's a miracle that you're alive, really. For such a time as this, Jeff.
Yeah. My work apparently was not done here. I remember though standing in the light and loving it. It was beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know. I don't know if I died per se. I don't know. But I do know that I stood in light, and it felt really good. I didn't go anywhere. I just stood there. You know what I mean? Like maybe waited. I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe got instructions. Maybe got some extra. You're not done yet, pal.
Exactly. Amen to that.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. So there's been a lot of great things. Thank you very much. I feel so blessed to be here with you today. I had the pleasure to meet you guys live and in person, and I missed you this time. My apologies. I got a 16-year-old that's dating now for a first date.
Oh,
God bless her.
That's scary.
By the way, we do have a Facebook page now. Since I am me, Jeffrey Pedersen, InTheMatrixxx, running the InTheMatrixxx account, I have a Facebook. If you want to go to Google or Facebook, look for the group called The Matrix with 3 X's, Groove with 3 O's, X's and O's, Hour. So it's The Matrix Groove Hour.
All right. Awesome. And of course, what is your YouTube channel?
Yes, to get to the YouTube, it would be youtube.com/C, like channel, /. So it'd be youtube.com/C/InTheMatrixxx with 3 X's.
Okay.
I've also got a Patreon, which Patreon, if you buy me a coffee every day, I can keep doing this stuff. or every month, not every day, every month. And we've got 172 Patreons right now, and it's Patreon, patreon.com/InTheMatrixxx. And
Awesome.
that really helps out, guys. That helps us, do this every day. I don't have a
PayPal
lot of
account too,
expenses. I'm
right?
very blessed. What's that?
You have a PayPal account?
I do. It's paypal.me. Wait, let me just double check that. PayPal, yeah, paypal.me/InTheMatrixxx with 3 X's. In
Okay.
the Matrix.
Awesome.
And again, Matrix with 3 X's is not anything demonic or evil. Remember, we can make any symbol because you have that power. You are God's children. We are God's children. Their crap does not have power over me or you. And that's
Amen.
yeah, thank you. And people were saying, "Oh, look, that's demonic." Well, you guys are watching Fox News. Do you know what Fox is? What letter of the alphabet is Fox? 6th letter.
Ooh, man.
Oh, well, that's the
Satan.
15th letter. Oh, that's 1 + 5 is 6. What's X? Oh, is that the 24th letter? 2 + 4 is 6. So you're going to tell me that I'm bad? So, and it's interesting that we live in a culture.
Ooh,
Wow.
gosh. You bring up a lot of good stuff.
I just have a lot of questions. My mom hated it.
A lot of questions. And I also want to make note too. They can tap on that ticker down below. Contact William at the phone number or email him for more information on how you can support in the Matrix as well. It takes money to go ahead and to keep the channel going, so that Jeff can do the research that he's been offering to all of us. It takes money to keep him there, to dive in to the information for all of us. So go to the PayPal, the information below, tap into our channel Up Front in the Prophetic. And hey, I tell you, Jeff, we love you, brother, and we so appreciate you hopping on today.
Thank you so much. I'm honored and blessed to be here again. I love you guys very much, and I love everybody. And when you go to the store today, why don't you go, or tomorrow, next time you go to the store, next time you are in contact with another human, just say, "Hey, how you doing?" and really look them in the eyes and wake them up out of that little trance that they're in.
Come on now.
And let's have some human contact. I don't want to be in the Matrix. I want to be out of this Matrix.
Come on. Amen.
Where we go, one we go all, everybody.
That's right. Awesome.
And God wins in the end.
He sure does. Absolutely. God bless you, everyone. Until next time. All righty.